We're
to open up the
ready.
economy.
The day we've waited almost 7 weeks for. Just 2 more sleeps before New Zealand makes a staggered move to level 2 at 11:59 on Wednesday. Retail stores, malls, gyms, cinemas, restaurants, hairdressers, playgrounds and movie theatres will be allowed to reopen from this Thursday. Schools will reopen next Monday, May 18, and bars will be able to reopen from Thursday, May 21st. Social gatherings will be limited to 10, although these guidelines will be reviewed in a fortnight, depending on the number of reported daily cases. Strict border controls will remain. The Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, made Cabinet's announcement a short time ago.
We are ready to move into level 2, to open up the economy, but to do it as safely as possible. So let me set out how we will do that. On Thursday this week, retail, malls, cafes, restaurants, cinemas, and other public spaces, including playgrounds and gyms, can reopen. All will be required to have physical distancing and strict hygiene measures in place. You can begin to move around New Zealand, but space yourself out, especially if you're using public transport. And of course, health services will restart. On Monday, 18 May, all children and young people will be able to return to school and early learning. This staging is to give parents, teachers and education facilities time to plan. And finally, on Thursday, 21 May, bars will be able to open with all the requirements set out last week, including that seating must be provided, there must be space between tables, and there mustn't be multiple waiters and waitresses serving a single table. We have left bars till last because they do pose the most risk. As we can see from South Korea, that recently opened up their bars only to close them again after one person created an outbreak of 40 people and caused 1,500 tests. While we have put in place measures and expectations to make all hospitality as safe as possible, these few extra days really do give us a chance to lock in the data from level 3 and feel more secure that we're ready for this move. Overall though, the upshot is that in 10 days' time we will have reopened most businesses in New Zealand, and sooner than many other countries around the world. But that fits with our plan, and our plan was go hard, go early, so we can get our economy moving again sooner, and so we can get the economic benefit of getting our health response right. And so far, we have.
10, remember that number. A maximum of 10 people will be allowed at all social gatherings. This will include weddings, funerals and church gatherings. The Prime Minister said whilst the government was relaxing rules, the situation in South Korea, where the virus has spread after their lockdown was lifted, illustrated the importance of social distancing. For that reason, she said restaurants would not be permitted to take bookings for more than 10 people.
Parties, big social events, or anything designed to be for mixing and mingling won't be allowed to happen for groups that are larger than 10. Gatherings at home need to be kept at 10. Church and religious events, weddings, funerals, stag do's, all limited to 10 for now. And if you're wanting to head to a restaurant or a bar, they won't be able to take group bookings for larger than 10. This, alongside social distancing, is our insurance policy. And why 10? Simple. If something goes wrong with a group of 10, that is much easier to contain, much easier to contact trace, much less likely that if something goes wrong, the whole country will have to experience more restrictions. That doesn't mean that you won't see larger gatherings of people around you. People, for instance, will be at the movies, but they'll all be spaced out. They'll be watching sports, but they will be spaced out. People might go to a show, but they will be spaced out. You'll see bars and restaurants open, but they again will be required to have people seated and spaced out. We have done what we can to prioritise opening up businesses, but just alter the way that we work within them for the next wee while.
Family members will be allowed to visit loved ones in rest homes but will be strictly monitored. And despite international advice to the contrary, masks will not be required here on public transport. Jacinda Ardern said going hard and going fast had put New Zealand in a better position than most other countries. And there was a number of factors behind today's decision.
Case numbers remain low. And in the last week, we have had 2 days in a row of no cases. By the end of level 4, our R value, the number of people each case goes on to infect, was 0.4. Under level 3, it has remained low. Experts tell us that if the R value stays below 1, we will eventually achieve our goal of elimination. As of today, we have only 90 New Zealanders recorded as having the virus, of whom only 2 are in hospital. None of that has been through luck, but rather through hard work. While we've been battling this virus, we've also built up our health system to specifically act as a defence. We can now undertake up to 12,000 tests a day. 3.5% of the entire population has been tested, and our testing rates are amongst the highest in the world per capita, ahead of countries like Australia, the UK, Germany, Singapore and South Korea. A lot of work has gone into building up our contact tracing capability. Dr. Aisha Verrill's report has been instrumental in this regard, and the majority of the recommendations have been implemented. We can now contact trace 185 cases a day and have capacity to contact 10,000 people a day through a new national call centre established since the beginning of the outbreak. Identifying new cases of the virus quickly through testing and rapid contact tracing can be 90% as effective as a vaccine in stopping the spread of the virus.
The Prime Minister, who was accompanied by the Director General of Health, Ashley Bloomfield, said a continued low number of daily case numbers would dictate when we move to level 1. She also indicated there would be more support for small businesses announced in this Thursday's budget.